In this tutorial, I will be covering creating an assignment in Blackboard. First, I'm going to navigate to the area where I would like to create my assignment. And for this particular assignment, I'm going to want to create it in the Week 1 Assignments folder so that I can keep my learning module organized overall. So I'm going to click into my Week 1 Assignments folder. And for this example, I'm going to create just a normal Blackboard assignment where students would submit a document. So to create that assignment, I'm going to hover over Assessments. I'm going to click on Assignment. And I'm going to name my assignment. And then I would add a description of my assignment. You can also attach assignment files if your particular assignment requires that students download something and then work on it and then re-upload it. Due dates. When it comes to any kind of assignment, test, discussion, journal, anything that assesses a student, even if it was a manually created column, I highly recommend using a due date. If you assign a due date to those types of assessments, what happens is it will show up on the student's calendar. So just make sure that you choose the correct day for the assignment. And then assign a points possible. Since I like to use the weighted total, I highly recommend scheduling all of your points to be worth 100. Instead of trying to figure out if you have 14 different assignments, how can I break that down to where those equal 100, or having to break it down even further if you have tests and things like that, it's much easier to use a weighted total and to assign all point values out of 100. If I need to assign a rubric, I can add a rubric here. You can also create a rubric as well. Under Submission Details, this is where I'm going to determine whether or not it's an individual assignment or if it's going to be a group assignment. I'm also going to designate the number of attempts that students have, whether or not they have a single attempt or they have multiple attempts, or even if they have unlimited attempts. Under the submission details, you also have the option to determine whether or not you want that assignment run through Blackboard's Safeassign plagiarism checker. It's similar to Turnitin. It doesn't have quite as many bells and whistles, but it is an alternate for plagiarism checking. And you can also allow the students to see their originality report similar to how Turnitin does, and you can also exclude the submission from the Blackboard database. I don't recommend using that because we want to cut down on students cheating. Under grading options, I recommend leaving these alone. These particular settings are useful if you've got a capstone program, you need to enable anonymous grading and you need to delegate grading. But for our purposes here, we don't typically use those settings. And then under the display of grades, Dr. Cunningham would like all columns to be set to percentage, so you can go ahead and set that to percentage. And if you would like, you can set a secondary display behind it. So for instance, if a student scores a 100, it would have 100% out to the side. If I put text, or if I put letter, it would have an A. And then I want to include the column in the Grade Center calculations, and I want to show that to the students. This last option, show average and median statistics for this column, that is completely up to you. Now you'll want to go ahead and make the assignment available, but then you'll put display dates on the display after and display until, so that way you can control whether it, the opening and the closing of it. And you also have the option to track the number of views. Again, that's completely up to you if you would like to do that or not. And then once you have set your assignment up, then all you would do is just click Submit. Now, once a student submits to this assignment in your Blackboard Grade Center, you are going to see an exclamation point. It's a yellow circle with an exclamation point in the middle of it, and that's needs grading. And I'm going to go over how to grade different types of items in a different tutorial. But now that we've created our week 1 assignment link, so students can go ahead and start submitting to that particular assignment.